Hey Guardians, let's talk about Call to Arms. I'm kind of curious how everybody felt about this event. I feel like opinions are a little all over the place. And I'm kind of torn where I land on this event. Let's get into this, because I feel like most people are going to kind of be all over the place. When Call to Arms first launched, I was super excited. One, there was a cosmetic that only the best of the best were going to be able to get. You had to be able to earn at least 100 points, which I want to talk about the points too, because let's just follow along with me here. The way the scoring worked, the idea of the scoring, I should say anyway, in this event was really cool. The entire community competing against each other. That is awesome. I love that. I love the fact that I was having to push myself every day for better and better scores. And then people found out that scores were tied to your power level. I was roughly 515, 520 when this event first dropped. So I was having to really hustle to get top 1%, because if anyone who had a 550 score, they got more bonus points. Anyone over 500, it was easier for anyway, just because we could access the highest difficulty and access more modifiers. And it was frustrating playing with some of my friends who weren't at Ultimate yet. And even though we were doing the same content and we're pretty much all slaying out kind of evenly, at one point we both even had identical kills, but my points were significantly higher because I was 100 power levels higher. I agree that's a problem. He's doing the same activity. He's killing the same guys I'm killing. Our points should have been relatively the same. I was able to achieve top 1% in every category, and I can proudly say I did it before they made it easy. But what else were they going to do? This event should have been an easy home run for them. Community competing against each other, check. Cosmetics that can only be earned by being one of the best, check. Things that Destiny have been missing. Lately, tier 5s have just been, look, I got more tier 5s than I know what to even do with. Tier 5s are reigning in this game. The loot does not feel special at all. But that helmet felt cool. And I was really excited to be able to get that thing and say that I was a top 10%er in 2 categories or a top 1%er in 1. The finishing the event tracker, getting my ornament for the pulse, that felt cool too. This should have been a home run, but it ended up just being met with backlash because why is it tied to power? Why this? Why that? So they changed it to where now people at lower power levels were brought up a little bit, but then that opened a new can of worms, because now those of us who had grinded and got to the higher levels, we're now getting a lesser score than those who didn't do the grind, which then led to the higher power people being upset. So then Bungie just said, here's your helmet, basically. We're going to set a minimum score, and if you can achieve it, cool, you get your stuff. We're not top 1% anymore just because it says top 1%. And that kind of stinks, because I really kind of do want to know where I fall in the community. Because I love the idea of being able to say I was a top 1%er. And you know what? I was also very much prepared to not get this. I went into this saying, I'm a decent player, but I'm not a top 1%er. I'm probably a top 10%er maybe in some categories. And then when I was able to actually start obtaining top 1, man, that felt great. And then for them to just say, here you go, that felt not so great. So I want to talk about what I think Bungie could do better moving forward. And we're going to use Pantheon as an example. You guys remember Pantheon. Pantheon had a minimum score that you had to cross. You could beat the encounters even if you didn't obtain the score, you could still get the clear, you could still beat the encounter, and it would still count as technically a win. So I have my, let's see, where's it at? I have my, there it is. I have my God Slayer title. I pretty much have not taken it off since I got it. But defeating the bosses was just part of it. You also had to complete all the encounters with a high score. And that high score was brutal in some of these encounters, especially Nezarec Sublime. That one, boy, me and my friends, we had a good time. And as funny as it was, Nezarec was never actually the hardest. It was stupid, what's his name? Atrax. And it was just because of the stupid timing on it. Atrax was so annoying. But I think Pantheon did the system right. Everyone could technically beat Pantheon. You could technically go through and beat every boss. But you had to be on fire to get that high score. And you had to work very well as a team. There were point thresholds that you had to cross. There were bonus things you had to cross. There was time involved. You had to be very quick. Basically, you had to two-phase every boss if you wanted to get the bonus points. Those bonus points built upon each other, because if I remember right, with Nezarec, as long as you beat Rolt first, then went to Nezarec, even if it took three damage phases, I think you still could get the score on Nezarec. But Pantheon did it right. Power level really didn't play a part in it. Your power had nothing to do with the score, and that's the way it should be for these events. So I think if they're going to do Call to Arms again, and I know they're going to, they already said they would, take the Pantheon approach. And don't give us customizable encounters. I don't want, because basically what ends up happening is everybody ends up just taking the easy way out. Nobody is going to take the hardest one. They're going to put on the modifiers that makes it easy. And they're just going to do that. And that stinks. I don't want that. Don't let me pick the modifiers, Bungie. You pick the modifiers. You tell me what it is we have to do. And then let's see if we can do it. And then also, Bungie, if there are people who can't do it, they just don't get whatever it is that we're supposed to get for winning. They just don't get it, and that's okay. And if you are a part of the community and you're one of these players who's upset that you don't get certain things, man, tough luck. I hate to say it. But there has to be rewards that only certain people get. That's part of the loot chase that we love so much. Pantheon, man, a lot of people got Pantheon clears. It was not impossible. Even if you were kind of an average player, you could still achieve it, but you had to work for it. You know what? I don't want to say that. You had to be above average to clear Pantheon. You had to be pretty decent. You had to have a good team. But I don't think we should just be handing out, especially cosmetics. They mean nothing. If you have this helmet or don't have this helmet, it doesn't mean anything. It's a cosmetic. This isn't going to make my guns hit harder. It isn't going to make my supercharge faster. It's just going to look really cool when I fire my golden gun. Or beat things to death with my glaive. This emblem right here, it's not even a good looking emblem. It's ugly. And it means nothing. So I hope Bungie continues to do events like this, but I also hope Bungie just starts telling people, if you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm sorry. Some things are just going to be out of reach for us, and that's okay. I honestly, when the event first started and I saw how high the scores were climbing and I saw how much I was having to do to stay in that top 1%, I did not expect to actually earn. Honestly, the emblem I thought would be out of reach. And I wasn't sure how I was going to score on the helmet. I'm glad I was able to keep it. The only issue with having the community go against each other is people are going to find glitches. People cheat. So that's one other reason I say I think we should take the Pantheon approach. Bungie, tell me the activity. Tell me the modifiers. Set a base score that I have to reach. And let's see if we can do it. And if we can do it, awesome. You get the item. If you can't, oh well, you don't get it. And that's okay. Another thing I want to talk about in this event is this event felt kind of half-cooked. We have a reward for 1 point, 10 point, 25 points, 100 points, 310 points. And I can't remember what the title was. 310 points. We could go all the way up to 1,500 points. Now, I know this event is not technically, it's over tomorrow, but not like technically over tomorrow. I think there's like the celebration week or whatever, so maybe there's something extra with the rest of our points. I don't know. But it felt kind of odd that we could achieve such high scores. And it also felt kind of odd to me that for the title, you didn't have to get top 1% in every single category. This title, honestly, you could be a player and get that title. And that's something that that's an issue that I'm seeing in other areas of Destiny right now. It's just like a lot of people didn't want to power grind because they didn't see much reason in doing the power grind. Because like, well, why go to the highest level? I'm always playing at a negative delta, so what's the point in going to the highest level? In this event, I only need... I'm not going to sneeze, maybe? No? We're not going to sneeze. It's a good day. I only need 310 points to get everything, but we can go to 1,500. Maybe I've missed something over the last few weeks. Maybe they said something about this, but it seems odd. There's so much extra space. You ever seen that clip of The Simpsons where Marge is like thinking and it like moves up her hair a little bit and it's her conscience talking to her? She moves up a little more and it talks to her again and it moves up again and it's like, don't ask me, I'm just hair. Don't ask me, I'm just hair from 310 to 1,500 points. What's the point in it? So, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking this event. I'm knocking a few things about this event, but overall, I really enjoyed this event. And me and my friends were talking about when we were running Proving Grounds, it reminded us how much we like GMs. Because Proving Grounds, the Coil, Heliostat, all of them felt kind of like a GM because we were pushing the modifiers as high as they could go. We tried the all bow run before they changed it. We were pushing ourselves to our limits, and that was the beauty in GMs and in Pantheon is you're pushing yourself to that next level of play because you do want to try to go after these items. And that was what I really enjoyed about Call to Arms. Overall, I think Call to Arms was a fantastic event. I've played more Destiny over the last 2 weeks than I have... Man, I've played a lot in these last 2 weeks. I've probably played as much, if not more, than I have for most of the season. This is probably the one event, other than Solstice, that I have played pretty much nonstop. I thought this event was great. I also think it was kind of cool that there were some weapons that really can't be obtained anywhere else that we were able to target farm here. The crossbow is really good. If you don't have your hands on a good crossbow, make sure to get you one. Romantic Death, I have a little short out about it. Fantastic weapon. I don't know what I want on Folded Root. I don't even think I've kept one. Ribbon Tail's pretty good. I used it a lot in the raid, especially on the one encounter. I mean, you can get Subsistence and the Detonator. This is a pretty good little... This is good. The Sword, I'm not even going to pretend I can pronounce that name. The Sword's good. If you're looking for a good tier 5... sword, this thing is pretty good. It has some really good rolls. Chain Reaction, Burn Ambition, Relentless Strikes, Eager Edge. It's good. Shoddy Hand Cannon, this thing's fantastic. You can get the proximity, power, incandescent. I don't know, there's a few other perks on it. These little shotgun hand cannons are really good and a lot of fun though. The little stasis shotgun, I still haven't got a god roll on it yet. I'm recording this at 11 o'clock at night on a Monday. I'm not too worried about it. I'm probably not going to get the god roll on it. I'd love to see what you guys think, though, down below. Let me know what you thought of Call to Arms. Personally, overall, I'd give this event a solid B. I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Bungie, give us more Pantheon style scoring. I think that would fix a lot of the issues. Power level didn't really play a part. There was a baseline score we had to reach. You either reached it or you didn't. Let's go back to that. I think that would fix Call to Arms. Yeah, I think doing that would fix Call to Arms. One last thing I want to touch on. and I want to know you guys' opinion is, do you feel like they should have changed the way the scoring worked halfway through? I was torn on it. A part of me was like, I'm someone who did the power grind. I put in that time. I put in that effort. I know that for a lot of people were like, there's just no point in putting the power grind in. There's no activities that, I mean, yeah, I think other than like the really hard conquest, I don't think anything requires you to be at max power. So a lot of people weren't putting in that time. So they didn't power grind. And I understand that. I get it. I understand why you didn't do it. But at the same time, as people, I saw also a couple people saying, as someone who did do the grind, it felt kind of like a slap in the face that they were making it easier for those who didn't do the grind to obtain the scores. It does feel kind of like if you're a loyal player, at some point or another, Bungie's going to say, all right, loyal players, thank you for being loyal, but now we're going to make this content easier so that the non-loyal can also achieve the items. I don't know. I'm torn on it. Ultimately, player count's down, so I know Bungie in a lot of ways kind of has to be a little more, here you go, here you go, here you go. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. But at the same time, I don't think that it's going to stop the bleed. So, I don't know. Love to see what you guys think down below about that. Should they have gone with the Pantheon style scoring? I personally think that would have been so much better. Did you like Call to Arms? Did you play it? If you didn't, why? If you did, cool. I personally enjoyed it too. I'd like to talk to you guys all down below. Anyway, we're going to be gearing up for Renegades this week, so expect a lot of videos on Renegades, but I wanted to put this out. You guys know the drill. I love you. Jesus loves you. God bless y'all. Have a good one.